I'm going to briefly talk about PSM training and just kind of an overview of it. And then Lance and I are going to demo both the Process Safety Enterprise workflows, we'll call that PSE as we go along, and Process Safety Learning, which you've heard about both of these, PSL. PSM has a lot of stated and implied training topics. So the word train doesn't show up a lot in the reg, but you'll see a lot of, oh, you have to communicate, you have to review, you have to have knowledgeable people. And all of those things end up meaning that you have to train them in some way, shape, or form. So I have an article that really discusses that on LinkedIn, if you'd like to go see that. It's called What is PSM Training and Why Do You Need It? But a summary of that paper is really that you really have to make sure that you're doing all of those things, both the stated and the implied, and that you're tracking it so that when you are audited, you can show that you have met the requirements of the PSM standard. And understanding, executing, and tracking all of that training can be expedited using comprehensive workflows like PSE and a learning management system such as PSL. Examples of some of that implied training are like for PHA leaders or your PSM manager. PHA team leaders have to be knowledgeable in the specific process that you're going to be using. So you might want to send them to a course like the PHA HAZOP leader course that's within PSL. And PSM program managers have to be knowledgeable about the program itself in order to be compliant. And again, you might want to send them to a course like the PSM Essentials course that's in PSL. This type of training that's recurring can be done solely within PSL, but it can also be assigned within our PSE training workflows and then managed there and the overview seen there. And then in any specifics, you can go to PSL to see it. It's your choice which way to go, but we're just going to show you how well they're integrated and how you might want to leverage the two different softwares. More examples of that implied training, that indirect, the communication or review of impacted employees for PHAs and incident investigation findings. Now, this is a screenshot from PSE, and you can do reviews for your pre-startup safety reviews, your changing operating procedures, your compliance audit results, management of change, or safety meeting minutes that you want to distribute to the impacted personnel. These types of things would work best in PSE just because they're just one-offs. You do them once and then you're pretty much done. You know, the next PHA is going to be different. The next MOC is going to be different. So these aren't things that you would likely want to put into PSL, but using PSE and very easily being able to communicate and review these types of things with your employees and track them for auditing purposes, PSE is a very nice platform for that. So now we're going to move into the demonstration. We're going to do a little bit of live demo here. And we're going to kind of bounce back and forth between Lance and myself. So the first one we're going to do is on PSE. So we're going to go into the employee participation workflow and show you how those implied training types of things can be tracked. And you'll see it from my perspective, and then Lance is going to show you from the learner perspective. You saw action items that were generated from PSE. Anna showed you that. Those are very nice, and I'll show you how, as a responsible person, I can kind of see what's going on using those action items. And it also provides proof of compliance. So as these action items are closed, you know that these things have been done. And everything can be tracked easily on the dashboard or within the action item tracking, which makes it very easy for the responsible person to see everything that's going on and what the status is. So I am going to jump over to PSE, and I would go up here to workflows. Normally I would add a new one, but I'm going to just view it for time's sake. No, I didn't want to start it from scratch. So this is the employee participation workflow. It has PSE navigation training and your program element reviews where you need to review and update them. We're going to go down the middle for notification of findings. So it assigns a number. I am going to share the PHA recommendations and action items from this year. I choose a process. I'm going to use the finding workflow. I'm assigning it to myself, which means that when I close this, it would send an action item to me, but I could choose anybody to be the responsible person. And I put a detailed description in of exactly what they're going to see when they get their action item. So that's the first one. Because I'm the responsible person, I would get an email that says, hey, go do the notification of findings. I would follow that link. It would take me directly here. This part is already filled out for me. It just carries it from the first page, which is nice. It reduces errors, so you don't have typos. And it's also quicker because I'm a terrible typist. So we talked about the different things that you can do. I chose PHA. And I added one of the reports. I wanted to just show you how easy it is to come in here and choose a document that I might want to bring in. So I've got my demo, I have my report here, and I can just dump it in. It's just very easy to do. If I wanted to bring one in from my computer, I could also do that, and it's equally easy. You can have any number of methods of notification. You could add to this list. All of these lists are customizable. They're very easily managed under the Manage tab. I assigned myself, I assigned Lance, and I'm going to put one of his colleagues in just so we can see what happens with two people in here, but they're very easy to add. And then I would submit here, and the workflow says, okay, I'm complete with this, and I'm going to the next one. So now what this has done is it has sent email notifications to my learners. And Lance, why don't you go ahead and take control and show from the learner perspective what happens?
I will walk you through an example of reviewing and closing an action item in AliExpress. So this email I just received like seconds ago when Dianne submitted that EP workflow task. In this email notifications, you can see that everything about that action item. You can tell the titles of it, the descriptions, what status it is, and what the due date is. There's also a direct link to the action item, which gonna direct me to the AliExpress itself. So this email clearly outlines what is expected of me and provides easy starting points with this embedded link. So when I click this link, it will direct me to the AliExpress. I can review the documentations, the reports then just attached there, and I can check the descriptions, what I should do at this step. So after I review that, I will click this edit button. I will change the status to closed and put the completion date as today. I also put some notes here, shows that I have reviewed attached reports and glad we are addressing all the issues on reactor 1. So after all of this, I will click the submit button. Now this action item is closed at this moment. So Dianne, as a responsible person of that EP workflow, she can quickly see that I have completed task. As an end user in AliExpress, it's very easy and convenient to manage all the action items. You can check over here. So you can check everything assigned to me or assigned by me. Click on that. You can also filter the status, like show all the opens, show all the closed, or anything canceled. So all depends on you. You can either check all the action items in calendar view. I click that link. On this page, you will see all the open action items and anything else, and also the due dates. You can tell that there's more due on the end of this month. So with all of these features, PSE helped to ensure that no task goes overlooked, making it very easier to maintain compliance and workflow transparency.
Okay, so as the person in charge, the responsible person, I can look over here and I can see my action items, and I can see that one is opened and one is closed. And then I can come in here, when everything has been closed, and I can just use that very easy way of looking at it. I can come in here, I can accept it and submit it. Now, the nice thing about this workflow is it has double checks in it for you. So say I'm moving a little too fast one day and I try to close this and one of my action items actually hasn't been closed. The system is going to tell your person, hey, hello, there's still an open action item back there. This really just helps so that you don't have those things left open where you thought it was closed, you were moving too fast, and it just gives you that nice double check of what's going on. Now we're going to talk about the next demo, which is about using PSE to kind of assign and track PSL training. So as we've talked about, PSL is very nice for your site-specific training or other repeated courses, the embedded courses that IOMosaic offers, where you're going to use them time and time again. You might modify them occasionally, but you're going to keep using them. Those can go very nicely into PSL while you have all of your one-off type of training in PSE. PSL is also going to send action items out to simplify tracking for the responsible person. So it's going to send one, PSE is going to send one so that they know that they got to go do the training and then they have to go close their action item. PSE has very easy links to PSL, and it makes it very simple to go back and forth between them if you choose to use PSE to manage it. But if I look at the overview that I just showed you, where I might have 10 people that I gave this training to, and maybe 2 of them are open, I can drill down, and then I might want to go back to PSL to see exactly where that learner is. PSL will tell me what module they're on, what percentage complete they are. So it makes it very easy to dive into it. But from an overview perspective, PSE can really give us that information. So I'm going to go back to PSE and I'm going to go back to view again. If I was going to add one, I would add it, but I'm just going to get one that I've already started. This is the training workflow. So you can see it's a pretty short workflow because basically I'm just tracking what I'm doing in PSL for this. So here I would come in, again, it would sign the number. I'm going to do PHA HAZOP leader training. I choose my facility in my area. This is initial training. We have Lance. I can add someone if I choose to, what the follow-up date is, any notes that I want to put. But the nice thing is that we have this nice little link here, and it's going to take me straight into PSL. Now this is the admin view. I can switch my role up here to the learner, but right now I'm an admin. So whoever is assigned to this in PSE would need to have admin status. And I can come in here and find the course. It's top of, so I don't have to search for it, but I could easily go over and do the search button to do that. But I'm just going to go straight in here. And I can go to learner. If I have a lot of people, I could create a batch. Say I have 10 operators or whatever, I can create a batch. So I only have to assign it to the batch, one batch, rather than multiple learners, which is nice. I'm just going to do Lance here so you can see how easy it is to add him in. And so I've added him, and we can double check to make sure that he's showing up in the learner. And you can see that he just hasn't started it yet, but he is enrolled. Down the road, if I want to check his status, there's learner analytics. I can go to learner progress or the competency matrix. I can add him here, and I can very easily see exactly what he's working on and where he is at on all of his training. So I can come down, I can see exactly what's been assigned to him. You can see here's my PHA HAZOP leader course that I just assigned. Obviously he hasn't started it, but he has some completed courses. He has some that, one that's at 33%. And then what I can do, if I choose to, is I can go down and look at the modules for the particular ones if I want to see exactly where he's at on this particular software. So then after I assign the course, I would go back to PSE and I would assign it. So now the email from PSL has gone out, the email from PSE has gone out, and Lance, why don't you go ahead and show what you see from the learner perspective?
So After Diane assigned that task, I should receive like 2 emails. One is from PSE, is something showing like this, just like the one before. The other ones come from the PSL. It's also showing me that I have assigned a course I need to take, and there's the link direct to that page. So these notifications ensure that the learners are immediately informed of their required training. It's very easy to follow. To complete this training course, I can either click this link to the PSL or where the link on PSE, there's access PSL. So click that, it also direct me to the dashboard of myself. On this dashboard, I can quickly locate the new course I should take. It's under my course. This is one the PHA has a leader. So click on it. It will redirect me to all the courses I should take right over here. And you can see the learning modules. So I can start from the very first one by clicking this joining button, then start it. It will also mark down all the progress I did for this course. Once everything is outside here, I can either proceed it or I can cancel it for the later contributions. So the PSL dashboard is designed to make training management effortless. It provides the learner with a very clear overview of all the required training, and also a lot of tools and charts to track the progress and see what has been completed. Assume I already complete that course. I will return back to the PSE by click that link. This action item, just like what I did before, mark everything as I already completed the training, mark it as closed, and this is today's date. So I submitted. This action item is really closed. So this progress ensures that both the learner and the system are updated, making it easy for the managers and administrators to track the training progress and the compliance.
So if I came back in here, I would be able to see that I have one total. I have 0 open, so I know that I'm good to go, that everybody has completed what they're supposed to. I could come in here. If I chose to, I could bounce over to PSL just to confirm that the training is completed. And then I would accept and then submit. And then it would go to verification. Somebody would verify it as well if you want to have that double check, or you could choose not to have that step in there. But you can see that for PSE, we can have everything in one place to track every single task that I've assigned to anyone. So whoever I've assigned anything to is going to show up here. So if I've assigned, 30 different things, they're all going to show up in one place. And I can easily track what's going on within all of the training that I have assigned to all of my people in one place, which can save a lot of time. Okay, you've seen that it's possible to track everything in PSE. If you choose to, you can do your site-specific and your recurring courses that you're using within PSL. But really, that integration of the two softwares of PSE and PSL really provides a powerful tool to ensure that all of your PSM training is assigned, tracked, and completed as required. And you're going to have it all in one place. And it just is very powerful to ensure that you're compliant as you go forward and for audits.